Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I am here with there he is, my good friend Charles Warren with Charles Warren Online, Charles Warren Presents.com, all his good, all natural, they're not skincare products, but they're like
Soul
bath and
muscle,
beauty products.
hygiene.
Yes, yes.
So get that back and them legs and them feet right, them knees
Go
right.
ahead and check out CharlesWarrenPresents.com. I think you still got the Black Friday going on, right?
Yep, Black Friday sale going on right now.
It will sell out fast.
Yes.
Trust me. So go ahead and check him out while he has a sale and before it's all sold out. But thank you all for coming back. How you doing, Eric? I see you in the chat. How are you doing, Zuda? I see you all in the chat. We're getting ready to have a good time with Survivor. We did not go last night. It was Thanksgiving, and we both enjoyed our families yesterday. So we're here on a good Friday night. I got some good Stella Rose. So I'm ready to talk about Survivor. I thought it was an excellent, strategic, old school, good old-fashioned episode of Survivor. I think this is going to be a good conversation because I thought it was everything last night, and Charles it was
good. It was good.
He's like, it was good. I was like, what? I was getting my life last night, and he texted me tomorrow. It was okay. Good episode. One of the best episodes ever. Where do you want to start? You want to just start right at the beginning?
Yeah, quick question. Did you just hear that notification that just went off?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm thinking it was my phone. I put
No,
do not disturb on.
My iPad made a noise. I didn't know if you heard it or not.
Oh, no, I didn't hear it.
Okay, good.
So let's just jumpstart at the beginning. Last week was a huge, I guess it was a double elimination because they were split up in two teams, and we lost Nasir and we lost Evie. And I was extremely happy Evie went home last week. But Nasir, not so much. I like Nasir. And so everyone was coming back like, wow, how did you all get rid of Nasir? What did you do? I don't know about you, Charles, but if I'm somebody holding on to an idol and I done just seen y'all get rid of somebody with an idol, I'm playing my idol. I don't want to be catch number 2 going home with an idol.
Are we talking about the person that went home tonight?
Well, everybody don't watch. They know.
Okay,
Shan went home.
I don't want to, but I feel you. The person, I feel like they knew their name was going around. Liana warned you, girl, that certain people were already talking about you. So I'm like, how can you be sitting there with an idol and just not use it? Like,
that was frustrating, but we're going to save that for the end of the game. What I liked about this is we got a good old-fashioned reward challenge where one person wins and they have to pick people and the other people get to be jealous. So the reward challenge, Charles, what was the reward challenge? I done forgot that fast.
The reward challenge, they were competing for pizza. And what they had to do was it when they stood up there and held the ball?
I remember that. That was elimination challenge.
Okay.
Well, it don't matter what they did. Ricard won.
Because see, that's the only one I remember. I remember them holding the thing.
I apologize. I didn't take notes. I know that was the elimination challenge. So I know Ricard won the reward. And he picked Shan because Shan hasn't had anything to eat. He picked not Erica, but Heather because Heather also had nothing to eat. And then he picked Xander because Xander did that whole I'll sit out and let Erica take my spot the week before. What do you think about the 3 people he chose to go with him and the 4 people, that left Danny, Deshawn, Erica, and not Ricard. Who was the last person?
It was Erica, and Liana. Danny,
Liana,
and Deshawn.
Deshawn.
Deshawn, yeah.
So they got to stay in camp alone to strategize, and they went off on reward. What did you think about Ricard picking those 3 people and leaving those 4 people?
He already has a supposedly great relationship. Well, he thought he had a relationship with Danny and Deshawn. Before they did what they did in this episode. I think it's fair. Like, he picked people that have never went on a reward challenge. And to me, like, there's no better, like, fair excuse. Like, if you want to be super fair, I get it. Pick people that never went on a reward. And you better pick Shan, because if you don't pick Shan, then it's going to be like, oh, your relationship is really over. Like,
I
she would be
understood why he
extra
picked
petty
Shan.
about that.
I understood why he picked Shan. Shan has not eaten anything, and that's supposed to be your ride or die in the game. So optics, we know it's not true. I understand, since you gave that excuse for Shan, you should probably give that same excuse for Heather and pick Heather. But Xander has eaten. Hasn't Xander been to one of those meals? I thought, for a strategic person, and just in my
Xander?
mind. Yeah.
What was his excuse for Xander, though? What did he say?
Because last week, Xander chose to sit out. Because remember, when they picked the rocks or anything, Erica had picked the white rock again, and she was supposed to sit out. And Xander said, I don't want you to sit out again. I'll sit out, and you can play. So Xander sat out last week. So he said, since you sat out, you can come. I would have broke up Danny and Deshawn. I wouldn't have left Danny and Deshawn on the island together. I feel like if Danny or Deshawn was at the island with Ricard, that whole let's get Ricard out wouldn't have went by so smoothly.
But which one would you pick? Which one would you take? Because Danny gonna run his mouth regardless.
Right, but Danny has no power. Danny's gonna run his mouth, but I don't think he has the power to back it up unless Deshawn says I'm on board. So I would have took Deshawn with me. Danny can say whatever he wants, because once we get back, he has to then in turn convince Deshawn, and Deshawn may have some kind of, maybe not right now, I just ate. I just felt like he should have broke up Danny and Deshawn. I felt like he should have broke them up.
And
screw Heather.
Okay, so seeing how hard Deshawn pushed to try to get him out, it would have been best for him to take Deshawn on the dinner, like the reward challenge. But that's something we know and not something he knew at the time.
Right, they don't know at the time. I agree.
Yeah.
I wish he would have, but...
Who would... Okay, so let's say, who would... If it was you, if you were Ricard, who would be your 3 people? Give me your 3 names.
If I was Ricard, and mind you, this is hindsight 2020 answers, but if I was Ricard, I would have definitely took my girl Shan. I would have took Deshawn to build up my bond with Deshawn, and I would have took Xander, because Xander doesn't need to be on the island talking up crap either. Screw Heather. Go eat some rice.
Oh my gosh, not Heather.
Heather, go eat some rice, because what kind of strategy is Heather going to talk with everybody else?
Yeah, Heather, to be honest, it was a sympathy thing. Like, okay, she hasn't eaten anything, and I thought that was super fair.
But she's eating rice. They have rice. She's not starving.
I wouldn't have picked Xander. That's the questionable one. I definitely would have taken Shan and Heather, because they haven't. But the other person, I just don't know. It wouldn't have been Xander though.
I would, even if we keep Heather, I would have still took Deshawn over Xander.
Yeah.
Okay. So he picked who he picked. Zuda said he picked the right people. Christopher is on our side, said he should have picked Deshawn and left Xander and Erica Right. I don't know, but I would
But
have
the thing
definitely.
about that though, Danny is gonna snitch on Xander. As soon as you get back, Danny's gonna tell you everything Xander
Right.
said. So
Let Danny snitch. But you left Danny and Deshaun together to plot on you.
mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna get into the plots. Let's get into the one moment that I'm happy did not come forth together. And I think I tweeted about it. They went down the whole Big Brother cookout, do it for the four. This is such a bigger purpose than us. They had all of that confessional this week when everyone was thinking about who to get rid of. Because remember, at first, Deshaun said it should be Shan, but I'm going to do it for the four. What do you think about, even though we know they didn't do it for the four, what did you think about? Because that was a good 15 minutes of the episode.
And then we got Deshaun crying and stuff.
Crying. It's such a bigger
I
purpose.
was so torn with that girl. I was so torn because I'm like, of the four, he is the one ruining it. He is the one ruining the four because he was the one trying to get them against Shan, like hardcore. Mm-hmm. So why are you crying? That's initially that was my mind. Like, well, why are you crying? You the one that's pushing everybody against Shan. I don't know, but I
And
also
why even
feel.
show it in the show if it's not going to come to fruition?
But we understand as individuals because we know if we played, we would still be fighting for ourselves. So we understand that part. Only one person is gonna win this $1 million.
It's gonna win. I don't care how 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't care how many on there. I want
I
Angie
think
to
it was
win.
too soon. I think it was too soon to be targeting anybody within the four. For me,
It was, but you gotta. Deshaun doesn't like Shan, and as long as Shan is in the game, I don't think Deshaun perceives that he's getting credit. Kind of like Ricard doesn't perceive he's getting credit for the gameplay. Because in everyone's confessional, everyone says Shan was the mastermind. Where every week we get on this thing, and you're like, Shan's playing an awful game. Those were your words, not Angie's.
Well, Shan's
but every
always
week
been playing
Charles
a horrible game.
says, right? See,
Shan
Charles
has always been playing a horrible game.
Says that every week.
Yeah, Shannon's been playing horrible games since the beginning. But to me, this episode solidified Ricard's legacy. Ricard is going to be known as the best player of this season. Even if he does not win,
Because he's the one who got out Shan.
Ricard is going to look like, but even before then, he was the brains of Shan when they were in their original group.
Agreed.
So he's going to look like, oh, he was playing his ass off this game, even if he doesn't, win. So
I do like Ricard. I told you I always like Ricard. I feel like it was too soon. It was too soon to take the shot, but the shot had to be taken. So why not now? Because I feel like next week Ricard goes home, and it's easy. Like, okay, Ricard, you helped us get out of Shan, but now you can go sit on the jury next to her. But let's talk about how the plan developed. The Ricard plan, because that was the original plan. Let's get out Ricard. I recall Danny being the first person to bring it up, like, I think we should get out Ricard. So would you give Danny the credit for coming up with the Ricard plan? Or would you give it to Deshaun?
Getting rid of Ricard?
Yeah, because remember, the original plan was to get rid of Ricard.
Mm-hmm.
Danny and Deshaun were talking.
But who
and then
brought
they said,
that
if
up,
we
though?
do it, we got to... Danny brought it up first. He said, I think we should get rid of Ricard. And it's like, okay, we got to get Liana on board. And they brought in Liana. Liana don't say shit because the only way we going to get rid of Ricard is if we don't tell Shan. And then Liana, who was definitely playing, I don't know who Liana going to play for now that Shan is gone, but she's definitely playing the game for Shan, breaks down, girl, that moment on the mountain was the best moment of my life. I'll never do nothing against you. They trying to vote your number one Ricard out. And I'm like, Liana, shut up.
Right. But I'm, and this to me, this further proves how bad of a player Shan is. It's not like, because to me, even great players, you don't even have to tell them somebody's talking about them. They will know when to use their idols, their advantages, their whatever. They will figure it out.
They have the
Shan was
intuition.
literally told, she was literally told that they are talking about you. And then, but they want to get Ricard out first. The
That is
fact
what
that you
Liana
heard,
said.
the fact that you heard that, and then you saw Ricard win immunity, girl, who's second? Who is second on that list? Who is next?
Shan felt victim of thinking Ricard wouldn't turn on her this soon. When both of y'all are saying to each other's face, well, we ain't got no final two, but we ain't
Right.
gonna go after each other. Like, bitch, if you ain't got a final two, I can go after you right now. It's no hard feelings. Cause you telling me you're not taking me to the end. And that's where Shan messed up. Shan should have solidified something with Ricard and was like, we're the only two greens left. If it's not me and you to the end, we're gonna get picked off.
But why was
So
she so hesitant about even saying that to him? Like, because I feel like he kept bringing it up, like, we're really not together, but we're here. And she would just look at
she
him
should have
like,
said, we are together. She should have said,
right.
let's do it. Me and you, final two, let's do it for the green to the end. But
Yeah,
by
she
her
should have
saying that,
solidified that. Even if you don't mean it, just do it.
yeah, because
Just
she's
do
saying,
it.
like, oh, yeah, I know we have to go at each other, but just not today. Like, bitch, maybe not today for you. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to call Shan no bitch. I just be saying bitch sometimes. But they come for you on Twitter, Charles. They come for you. But I'm just saying, like, girl, if today is not the day for you, what makes you think it's not the day for him? I totally 100% agree with Ricard's mentality of, okay, Shannon them, they don't get rid of me today. She has a 4. She can get rid of me any day. I have to get rid of her. Do you think he should have maybe held on to Shan and tried to get out Deshaun?
Yeah. See, that's another thing. Getting rid of Shan this episode was also the wrong move. It was still the wrong move. But Deshaun and those core 4 people, they don't keep Ricard enough in the loop to know that Liana and Shan don't trust Deshaun. I don't think Ricard even knew that. Liana and Shan, we didn't see. We didn't see them disclose that they don't trust Deshaun. Because then it could have been a thing of going after Deshaun, and that would have been a better move. That would have been a better move for Ricard, because he could have kept Shan and still split them up on the other side, so the 4 couldn't go against him.
And who do you think Danny is running to when Deshaun is gone?
Ricard.
Right. So I
Or
think
the girls. He might run to Liana. Maybe.
But I'm seeing what Naomi is saying in the chat. Why wasn't this a good episode to blindside Xander and his idol?
Right. Since we're flushing out things, why does Xander get to keep his?
I think because in everyone's mind, in everyone's perception, and what's the saying, Charles? Perception is your
Reality.
perception is your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Their perception is Shan is running the game. We saw multiple confessions from multiple
Because she do all
people
this.
because she's the one talking. Everyone is scared of Shan. They're looking at Xander, especially now that Evie is gone. Xander's just a vote. Whoever we tell Xander to vote for, he'll vote, because what else is Xander going to do? But this
Right.
was the perfect opportunity to have all this Shan and Ricard barking in the background, but everyone votes out Xander and he's gone. I don't know how you get rid of Xander. How do you get rid of Xander now?
I think because Xander seems to be like an outsider, like Erica and Heather, that they don't see him as a threat because he doesn't have a clique anymore. Since Evie's gone, since Tiffany's gone, it seems like he don't have anybody.
I think Xander and Liana are now the clique. Xander, because who else? Liana was, if Shan would have played her idol, Liana would be sitting in the jury right now. So obviously, Deshawn, Danny, everybody else outside of Shan did not care if Liana went home last night. So Xander can easily pick up Liana now. What is Deshawn and Danny going to say? Oh, we voted you out just in case. Why? Because Liana could be like, well, why not Erica? Why wasn't it Shan and Erica a split vote?
Yeah. But is Liana I'm not calling people dumb, but is it going to click to her of the people
it's
that
not going to
voted
click
for
to her, but Xander, if Xander's looking to pick someone up, he can make it click for her. I can see those two saying we were yellow, we had our beef, but we aren't going to make it unless we come together. And especially if Ricard picks up Xander, because also Ricard voting out Shan did nothing but make him an easy vote for next week. Like, why not just vote out Ricard next week?
Yeah. Ricard has to win out. He has to keep winning immunity or he going home. The place we thought Danny was going to be in, that's the place Ricard is in.
Ricard has to win out. As soon as he doesn't win immunity, he goes home. We skipped all over the immunity challenge where they were holding those balls and sliding down the lake. But y'all watch. We ain't got to talk about that Ricard one. Ricard is a threat because he already won the first immunity challenge. Then he won the first reward and an immunity in the same episode. He's a huge threat now. Huge. Let me see, because I wrote some questions down. So, in the jury, we now have Tiffany, Shan, Nasir, and Evie. We're down to the final 7. Who do you think will now work together? Because everyone's not working together next week. This was just a let's get Shan out, work together week. Who do you think Blue pulls strong? Where Deshawn, Danny, Erica, and Heather come back together? Or does
Erica's not working with Danny and Deshawn?
Does Ricard pick up Erica and Heather, Liana and Xander to get out Danny and Deshawn?
Xander is going to be the middleman. It's going to be Liana, Danny, and Deshawn on one side, and then it's going to be Ricard, Erica, Heather on the other side, and Xander is going to be right in the middle. It's going to come down to who Xander wants to go home.
You think Liana is going to go back to Deshawn and Danny, who just wrote her name down, as if Shan would have played our idol, oh well, girl.
I think so, because I think they're gonna put it in her head like, we voted for Shan. We wanted to get Shan out. We just had to get her out right now. It's gonna be focused more on Shan going home, not them voting on her.
It's easy to say we were focused on Shan, but you split the vote for me. Like, 3 of you all voted for me in case she played an idol, which meant if Shan didn't go home, I was going home.
Yeah, well, Danny and Deshawn don't have to take any responsibility for that, though. There's no proof that they particularly voted for her.
The split vote was Erica's idea because the vote was always to be Shan and Erica. And Erica didn't like that. So she said, why not Shan and Liana?
Erica's playing her ass off.
Erica is, to me, the surprise of the season. Because, you know, if you watch my cast assessment, Erica was gone first. Gone first. Erica is playing her ass off, and I'm happy to see it. She proved me wrong. I think at the end of this episode, Charles, anybody could win outside of Heather. I could see anybody winning this game.
No, definitely not. Danny's not winning this game. Heather's not winning this game. To me, I don't see Ricard winning either. I think Ricard has his target is so big, it is blaring. Like his target is so big that as soon as he loses immunity, he going home. So,
do you know what I think, Charles?
I think really between Deshaun, Xander, and Erica.
I'm gonna tell you who about to win the game. Everyone was so focused this week on Shan. Shan is the mastermind. She's the mouth of the game. She's the mastermind, whatever word you want to call it for Shan. Everybody wanted Shan out so bad that they just opened up the pathway for Xander to win. Because they're going to be too scared to vote out Xander because Xander going to play his idol. Xander going to get to the final 5 when you can't play the idol anymore, and he's going to win out. I think Xander wins.
I think it'll be a great final. Isn't next week the finale?
No, I think it's December 15th. So
December? Because
we have 3 weeks.
Why was Wendell and somebody else talking about a finals watch party or something? I don't know. Anyways.
I believe the finale is the 15th because it's right before the week of Christmas. So it's December 15th.
Okay, good. I'm about to say, damn,
in the chat, anybody could win besides Danny and Heather.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Danny and Heather are a no. Ricard, I don't think so. He has to literally win out. Now, the ideal final 2 for me are Ricard and Xander. If we get
a final 2 or a final 3?
Well, Ricard, Xander, and Deshaun. Because, Deshaun was already my pick. But the way Deshaun is playing, I don't think he has the relationships in the jury to win.
He doesn't. I don't think Deshaun has the relationships to win. I feel like you have to get Xander out because Xander has his yellow people. He has Evie and Tiffany that are automatic votes.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that Xander made it to the end will be a reason enough for a lot of people to vote for him. I think he can explain his game well. He had that huge move of tricking Liana out of her advantage. And then didn't he do something the next week with Evie? I don't know. But
let her go home.
Right, he let Evie go home. So I think Xander has a huge resume. He seems like a well-spoken person. He can probably explain his game when they do all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think Xander holds on to his idol.
To be honest, if Ricard gets to the damn final 2, baby, it is a twin. If it's Xander, if it's the final 2 and it's just Xander and him, Ricard, it could go either. It could literally go either way. But no, technically, if Ricard plays a good enough game to get to the final 2 at this point,
he wins.
With his target being this big, he should win. He deserves to win. He deserves it.
I don't think so. I think Ricard goes home next week. And I'll be so happy to see him sitting next to Shan and they just up there
I think
together.
In the next 2 eliminations, he going home. Unless
I think Erica would be a great winner of the game
all
too.
The non-black people together.
Who?
And then they
let me see who the non-black people are. He got Xander, Erica, and Heather.
Mm-hmm. Those 4 could get the other 3 out back to back to back.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
That's what they can do. That's what I'm
I
saying.
feel like everyone in this week were so focused on Shan, they weren't focused on the long game, and they shot themselves in the foot. The Shan and Danny shot themselves in the foot. They just X'd out Liana. I don't think Liana works with them. So they just screwed over Liana. You just said Heather and Erica ain't fooling with them. So they're out on the island alone. It's either Ricard next week or Deshaun next week. It could be Deshaun.
Or, to be honest, it depends on who went. Like, immunity could easily go back to Ricard. Ricard is killing these damn competitions, baby. He could win it again. If he wins it again, those 4 non-black people are going to pick whichever black person they want to go home. It's going to be Deshaun, Danny, or Liana. They're going to keep Liana and Danny because they are not as threatening.
Now they're saying in the chat, if Xander wins, it's a huge L for the season. Why? I just want to know why.
We said why at the same time. Why?
Because,
Okay.
I'm here for black people winning. I'm here for rooting for everybody black. But I don't think Xander has done anything to upset me to be like, oh, he shouldn't win. Like, I'm here for the strategy. I'm here for the gameplay. And I feel like this season, everybody is playing the game, except for Heather. But everybody is playing. And I'm here for whoever wins out of this because I feel like it's going to be a fight to the end. I don't feel like it's going to be an easy road for anybody to get in that final season.
Let's not lie. It'll be disappointing if Heather, Danny, or Liana win this season.
they like you just said, the only person of those 3, like by chance they in the final 3, just by chance. The only person I would give any credit to, I wouldn't mind seeing Danny win because Danny has the idea. Danny was the one who came. He was the one who said, "Let's get out Nasir. Nasir has to go." That was Danny. Danny was the one, even though Ricard didn't go this week. Danny was the one who started.
Wait, Danny said get out Nasir, or was that?
Yes.
I thought that was Deshaun. I thought Deshaun said that because Deshaun told Shan that.
Danny and Deshaun are like Ricard and Shan. Danny is always the one saying something first, like, I think we should get out Nasir. And Deshaun agrees, and he's the mouthpiece to go tell everybody. So Danny is the one who said first, Nasir. He was the first one to say, I think it should be Ricard. I don't know if Danny has the ability to vocalize and explain his game.
Yeah, that final speech.
But he has the ideas. Danny has the ideas. I won't take that from him. Liana would have to really, maybe now that Liana has broken away from Shan, she can move away from her mountain moment and play the game. Maybe. I think Shan was holding Liana back.
Liana is good in competitions. She hasn't been doing so great at these individuals though. She's good in groups, but individuals has not been her thing.
There go my son texting me. Lord have mercy. Hold on.
I've gotten like 3 new orders since we've been on live. That's why I asked you if you had notifications. Because it goes
couldn't hear that.
It goes like king, king on my iPad.
I just heard it on my phone.
The new orders is coming in, y'all. It's Black Friday.
We told you to go check it out before they sell out.
Y'all better come to my website. Get it right now. Charles1presents.com.
They agree with me. They say Danny is the Ricard to Deshaun's Shan. Deshaun will get all the credit because he talks more.
Maybe y'all right. Maybe that's right.
And this is Liana's time to show out. She doesn't have this bond of I'm playing it for Shan, I'm playing it for this moment, change my life. All of that, girl, leave that on the mountain.
Is the Black Lives Matter group over?
It's over. It's over. If Liana wants to win the game, it has to be over. Oh. Period, Charles. Oh, they talk.
Period. We getting that money over here while we on live chatting
They
about
talking about your
Survivor.
business is good, great. I thought they were saying period, Charles. The movement was over. But yes, period,
Yes.
Charles'
Thank
business
y'all.
is
Thank you
doing
very
great.
much. Make sure y'all
Yes,
shop. Shop, shop, shop.
yes. But
Black Friday.
I think it's over, and I think Liana needs to be the one to get out to Shan for her girl Shan.
Yo, what if we see like the ultimate come up with Erica? It would be great if it was Liana. But what if Erica plays the hell out of these men this next couple weeks and she gets rid of Deshaun, Ricard, Xander back to back to back, and it's Erica doing it?
I would love to see Erica do it because I don't think Liana will. I don't, because see, Liana, we have to think, is Liana's hatred for Xander bigger, or is her hatred for what Deshaun and Danny just did to Shan bigger? Like, which one is bigger in Liana? Because remember, Liana hates Xander. She can't stand the way he looks, the way he smells. She hates Xander. They going off in the chat now, Charles. Now, let me tell you.
What they saying? They said Xander smell like pennies.
Stormy is with the Black Lives Movement. She doesn't want another white man to win, to keep it 100. Stormy, I appreciate you keeping it 100 because I'm here. I'm here for it. But I'm just gonna say, if Xander wins,
I wouldn't hate
I
it.
think it'll be a good season. I wouldn't hate it. But I'm here for what you're saying. I'm always gonna root for everybody black.
Xander had the first big moment of the season. The way him, Tiffany, and Evie sat there playing double dutch with that damn idol, that was the first big moment of the season. And yeah.
Yeah. But
no,
she doesn't want to
Erica's
see
not
Erica
bad.
win.
Erica
I
ain't
think
bad.
I just want to hear from Stormy real quick. Well, who do you want to win? I think she must be a Deshaun or Danny has to win.
Maybe. Because Erica's not bad. I'm saying if Erica,
Stella Rose,
because Erica is not a front runner right now. But if Erica takes the adequate moves, there's still space. There's still more game. There's still 7 people left. So there's still time for her to make moves and lead vote outs for her to make a resume.
I agree. Especially if she teams up with Ricard, Heather, and like you said, maybe Xander.
Mm-hmm. They
can get Deshaun out next week. Liana doesn't have the social capital to rally a vote. I agree. They're not. Mm-mm. I think once Liana said, Xander, give me your idol, and he was like, you can have this fake one, Liana's, it just went down. And it wasn't her fault, but she should have sniffed that out. Like, she should have sniffed that out. I'm sorry, but yeah. So I don't know.
She's just not that girl. She's just not that girl. No, I don't.
What if Heather? If Liana can't rally a vote, Heather can barely rally a stick. Can she even make the rice?
Right, because who did
Heather is getting dragged to the end, and who's ever sitting next to Heather wins. The finale isn't even going to be good because Heather going to be sitting there with nothing to say, and we already going to know who wins. It's going to be, I don't know. Unless it's a season where they come together and be like, we ain't going to let y'all just drag Heather to the end and we going to vote Heather out. But Heather's not winning the game. She hasn't said a strategic thing all season.
She tried in that one. Oh, look at my arm. Okay, arm. Okay, so she tried in that one elimination when she stood up and was like whispering and all that stuff, but that didn't do anything. That didn't work. She tried to get Nasir out. That didn't work. Sydney went home.
I forgot all about Sydney. that
Yeah,
fast.
that was the week Sydney went home, but Heather was trying to get Nasir out, and that didn't work.
I can't wait to see how this all shakes together next week. I can't wait to see who works with who. I can't wait to see if Ricard goes, Shan goes. On a
I think
scale
we
of
have
one
an
to
understanding that if Deshaun doesn't win immunity, I think he'll probably be the person to go home next week. I think we both think that Deshaun will probably go home
even
next week.
if, let's say, by chance, Xander wins immunity, you think Deshaun goes over Ricard?
Yeah, because I think I'm telling you, I think the non-white people are going to work together. Heather, and Erica are going to work together, obviously.
Yes.
And I think the way not Nasir, who is Nasir? He's gone.
He's gone. I have the names
Ricard.
down.
It's so many names, girl. The way Ricard was talking to them so much this episode, I think that was like grooming us for him jumping in there with them. So
An
yeah.
alliance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like, because Shan poured her heart out to Ricard. She could have just sat back and let Ricard go. Do you think that would have been a good move for Shan? Like, say the second half did never happen. If Shan would have received that information from Liana and kept humming her evil song and just let Ricard go, do you think that would have been a good outcome for the game? If we would have swapped Shan for Ricard?
I don't think it makes much of a difference because I think because we know he still wins immunity, but um, her not telling him, I don't think that would have
And
done
just letting
anything.
him go?
He wouldn't have gone though
Why? Everybody wanted him
because
to go.
he won immunity.
Oh, I forgot. Duh.
So telling him
So it
ain't
don't
gonna
even
change
matter.
nothing. Mm-mm.
I guess Shan was trying to get Erica out, but
I think Shan messed up her game. Well, every episode, but particularly with Ricard by not creating a final two deal
solidifying the final two. Yes.
and also not being fully transparent with her game. The fact that she didn't really vocalize her issue, like her battle with Deshaun, so she could get Ricard to help her get Deshaun out. That was a lack of a move for her. She just
Do
didn't
you
make that.
think because at tribal council is where you pick up your cues of if you should play your idol or not. Like you hear things like,
She had
okay,
all
I'm
the
feeling.
cues.
That's what I was going to ask you. She had cues, and why didn't she pick them up? Because when Ricard said in tribal council, I don't have no final two with Shan, all that Ricard was saying, Shan's spidey senses should have been off. Like, why is Ricard saying this to the group? Like, this isn't something he needs to say to the group.
But her spidey senses was beaming when Deshaun was like something about the things you like people lying. Because his whole thing is that Shan is a liar. Shan is a liar. Him bringing up the fact that, yeah, people be lying, but you supposed to be honest with people in your group. When he said that in that tribal, her face, she even went like this, like she
Yeah.
knew he was talking about her. Girl, play your idol, like.
But I don't understand why Ricard thinks Shan lied when Liana was the one who told. Nobody was mad at Liana for telling. Because the whole thing was, we're going to vote out Ricard, but Shan cannot know. How did Shan lie?
But what was the lie? I think the lie was supposed to be from last
They
week or
were
something.
mad at Shan for telling Ricard. They was like, why would Shan tell Ricard? But Liana told Shan because Deshaun even said it like, How dare she go tell Ricard my plan when we didn't even tell her the plan? So how she gonna tell him? I'm like, right. So why
Are
aren't you
you sure
mad at
that's the lie?
Liana?
I thought the lie was from like something that happened before, like last week or something.
I don't recall Shan ever lying
Me
to
either. That's
Deshaun.
why I'm
Deshaun is
confused.
just mad that Shan always got the shine over him.
Yep, I agree with that.
But I agree, Charles. Her spidey senses should have been going off and just never go home with an idol. Like, if you know your name has been mentioned once and you have an idol, I'd rather play my idol and waste it than go home with it.
Yeah, girl, when I get on Survivor, if I ever apply again, if I was in Shan's situation and I know y'all are talking about me, I'm going to pull the Xander, but not do it in Xander's way. I'm going to do it in more of a Tony way, of where I take my idol out and I'd be like, well, damn, it sucks that I lied, but I'm not going home tonight. So y'all better pick another person to vote for.
Well, it would have just been Liana at home, and I would have rather seen Liana on the jury than Shan because I feel like Shan could have bounced back better than Liana. But I have two more
They would have had to
questions
pick
because I
somebody.
got to do All Stars 2 in a few minutes, but we started a little late, so I'm gonna give this one a little bit more time. Now, Zuda has a question in the chat that I'm gonna ask, but I want to
Hey,
ask you this
Zuda.
question first. So when Shan left, this is a two-part question. She was pissed. She was like, Ricard, I'm giving you $1 million vote. Deshaun, you're a snake. But then at the end of it, she was like, oh, but I love everybody. It was a good job. I love everybody. Do you think she said that to Ricard to put his target even bigger? Like, oh, he getting $1 million, he going home. Or do you think she was genuine? Like, you
I
got
think
me.
no, I think genuinely she's going to vote for Ricard if he gets there. But I also think she said that to let both of them know, I know that y'all are the two people that got me out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Good game. Y'all got me. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
But she told Deshaun he was a snake.
He is a snake.
I think Shan was more. Do you think Shan was more upset because I do about Deshaun not sticking with the four? Because she kind of felt like me and Ricard said we had no final two. Okay, he got me. But Deshaun, we were supposed to be doing it for the black people, and you snaked me.
Right. This is supposed to be for a bigger picture. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely the thing.
Okay, but before I get to Zuda's question, Zuda, I'm gonna get to your question because it's a good one. I understand why we did it for the bigger purpose on Big Brother. Big Brother never had an African American winner. I understand and I'm here for it. I'm always here for rooting for everybody black. Like Issa, I root for everybody black, but I'm also
I
here for a
used to
good
I used to
game.
be like that. I used to be like that. I ain't like that no more. But
But
you
that's
can't
what I'm
say it like
saying.
that, but it's okay.
With Survivor, do we need to do it for the culture?
No. No, we've had plenty of black people in the finals. We've had plenty of black people considered legends. We've had black people win the game, both male and female. So I don't think we need to rally the troops to get a black winner on Survivor. Um, I do think as a community and as a televised form of media that it is important for young people that are watching to see black people work together. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
think that for me is the key point. I do think it's important for them to see black people work together, but I think we're at a point where we need to stop vocalizing to non-black people, including production, that we are working with other people because they're black. That can be your reason in your head, but stop saying it to production because they're going to put it on a loop and the white viewers are going to get angry that there's like this
Oh,
race
excuse me.
war there's this race war and they don't like white people, because that's not what it is. It's
I
not
don't think
we don't want to work with
it's
white
definitely
people.
not that. It's definitely not that. I agree with what you're saying, Charles. I also think we don't want it to be on a loop. One, as you can see this season, not all black people like each other. Shan and Deshaun honestly couldn't stand each other.
Shit, we saw that on Big Brother. Heavy.
Right. So,
Heavy.
but we can work together. But also, if we start to see season after season after season, I know they're gonna be like, white people work together all the time. I understand that argument. But if every season we get, we doing it for the culture, guess which culture is gonna get voted out first?
Right. Because there's going to be an assumption.
Because it's going to be in the white people's mind, it's the culture. So that's why I was kind of happy. Like when I seen out my tweet, I wasn't trying to be hateful, because I was like, I'm happy they didn't do it for the 4. I'm happy they didn't do it for the 4, because when I look at Survivor, I want to see people individually wanting to win the game and doing whatever is best for them, not for the 4, because 4 people ain't going to split $1 million. Okay, but let's get to Zuda's question real quick. Zuda wants to know,
what's going on?
What do you think each player, and we're going to make this a real quick answer, needs to do to make their game better over the next few episodes? Like, what do each player need to do to make this game better over the next 3 weeks? It must be some double episodes in there, because it's only 3 weeks, but it's 7 people left. So I don't know how we're going to get down to 3.
Because I think for the very last episode, with the finale, there's still elimination. So there's going to be a finale when it's like 4.
So
we're going to see an elimination.
It's going to be a double episode. So one of the next 2 weeks is going to be another double.
Maybe, yeah, I guess. So get down to 6, 5, 4. Yeah.
6, 5, 4.
Yeah. Or unless the finale is a 2-part episode, 2-part thing.
We'll see. But let's answer, Zuda. You want me to go first? Because I got my list.
What you got 7 answers. It's 7 answers, 7 people.
Yeah. So Deshaun. I feel like Deshaun already has a good game, but Deshaun needs to calm down. He gets too angry when he doesn't get his way. And okay, now you got out Shan. Calm down, and he needs to calmly try to get Erica and Heather back. If he can't get Erica and Heather back to do it for the blue, Deshaun's going home next week. Danny needs to be more.
Wait. Before you move on, when you say a person's name, do you want me to give mine so we don't have to go back?
Yeah, that way, since I had a list. Okay, Deshaun.
Yeah. So Deshaun, I agree. I think he needs to lay low. Deshaun needs to fall back into the crowd and take his head out of his ass. Because Deshaun's at the point to where he knows he's playing a great game and he thinks he's already in the final. So he needs to go back to the back and become that humble, chunky guy that was on the first episode. He needs to come back to who he was at the beginning.
And can we add one more thing? For Deshaun's game to get better, next week he needs to get out Erica. As long as Erica is in the game.
Is that his best move, though?
Yes. Getting out Ricard does nothing. He needs to get out Erica because he needs to get out Ricard's numbers. Ricard can't really gather as many people as Erica can. He needs to get out Erica next week.
Yeah, Ricard will. Since Ricard is such a big target, he's going to always be a target.
He's going to always be a target.
To be honest, I would not get out Erica. I would get out Xander. Xander is my biggest threat.
That's going to be a hard one, though. You have to get out Xander at a moment when he's in next week. He's like, as we get closer, 3 weeks left or 3 episodes left, Xander is. I really feel like Xander wins, but let's move on to Danny. Danny.
But that's who he needs to get out. That's who he needs to get out.
That's who they need to get out, but I don't know how they finesse it. I don't see it. This was the perfect week to finesse a Xander vote. While we shouting out Ricard and Shan, on the low, everybody votes Xander and he's gone. But we're on to Danny. He's next on the list. Danny, as long as Deshaun is there, it's nothing Danny can do because Deshaun is going to always be seen as the Shan. He's going to be seen as the vocal one. Danny needs to be the one to come up with an idea and tell it to someone outside of the now three. Like, don't just go to Deshaun. Don't just go to Liana. Come up with the idea, Danny, and maybe take it to Erica. Maybe take it to Xander. As long as you're letting Deshaun be the mouthpiece, Danny is just someone pretty to sit next to at the end.
I agree completely. I think Danny needs to, I don't know how the hell he gonna do this, but I think Danny needs to assure that his shield stays. So Deshaun, by any means, needs to stay. Because Deshaun will always go before he will.
True.
My second part.
Okay. Second part.
My second part is Danny needs to further develop his relationship with Xander. He needs to also become Xander's second hand. Because once Deshaun is gone, he needs to be protected by Xander and Xander's idol. So maybe he could get Xander out right before the final. That would be ideal for his game, is to get under Deshaun and Xander and get them both out right before the end. But strategically, I don't see that he could do that. But
I don't think so ideal. Either. But that's
ideal.
What he could do. Up next is Ricard. To me, Ricard has a good resume of the game. To me, all Ricard can do is he has to do one of two things. He has to win. Immunity, that necklace is going to save you. Or Ricard has to be the one to gather Erica and Heather and Xander. Ricard needs a 4. If he can gather a 4, that's all he needs to do to be set to the end of the game. But I don't know if those 4 will go with him. I don't know. I think he has too big of a target. He might can gather a 4 next week, but they might just turn on him the week after that.
I agree. I think what you said, he has to win out. And to be honest, he is the best to me. He's the best player of this season, but he is not utilizing his power. Like when you become an HOH, when you become someone with power, you need to utilize that time to solidify alliances. Like this episode was when him and those other 3 should have made an official 4-person alliance. Gave it a name and everything. Like it should have been a super official. So when he loses that power, they don't kick his ass out.
Okay. Is it too late to have a solidified official alliance? Like, I think right power. Now. So only when he wins immunity.
Yes, when you got that immunity necklace, you people come to you with deals
because they know you're not going. Yeah. So he needs to win again and solidify something. And I agree, the best person to solidify something is Xander, because he can save you if you don't win, because you know he'll use it for somebody. Oh, next on the list is Xander. What can Xander do to better his game? I'll let you go first this time.
Start winning immunities. I think he needs to win immunities. And
you
not
think he
get
needs
sent
to
home
pad
with
his resume some more.
And not go home with that idol in his pocket. Because he could also go home with that idol in his pocket if he sit there too cute, thinking he ain't gonna have to use it.
I don't think Xander will. I don't. It could happen, but I think after what he done just seen the Seer and Shan go home with an idol, I can see Xander playing his immunity necklace. Idol next week just for the hell of it.
To be honest, if he doesn't win, he needs to. In the next 2 weeks, he need to play the idol.
I agree. Xander needs to solidify himself in an alliance, a strong alliance. And I agree, he needs to pad his stats. Like what he did with Liana was so early in the jury, you still need to pad your stats going through the game. So,
right, you have no individual wins, buddy.
right. Up next is Liana. What can Liana do to better her game?
Liana, start winning individual immunity. I think of all the women, I think she could actually win some individual immunities. She needs to do that for a resume. Um, and I also think she needs to. Mm, it's a tough road for her because I don't see her winning in votes at the end. But she needs to win some immunities.
Liana does need to win. But what Liana, I think the best thing she can do, and this is probably going to sound crazy for the Xander haters, Liana needs to make up with Xander. She
I
needs to
agree.
squash whatever beef they have. She needs to work with Xander, pull in Erica and Heather, and get rid of some of these strong men like Danny, Deshaun, Ricard, and then snake Xander at the end. I don't know. I just feel like Liana needs to. She needs to do one for her girl Shan, get rid of Deshaun, and the next week turn around and get rid of Ricard, and then get rid of get rid of Xander. She
I
needs to
think
make up with Xander
Liana's,
for 2 weeks.
but I think Liana's only chance of winning the game is if she's in the final with Heather and Danny.
And Erica.
No,
Oh no, not Erica. Danny. I
Danny and
agree.
Heather.
I
Because if
agree.
she's in the final with anybody else, she's not gonna win. So she
No.
needs to figure out the way to work together with Danny and Heather.
The first thing
Danny,
she can
Heather.
do, she needs to make up with Xander,
Mm-hmm.
get rid of Deshaun, get on board to get rid of Deshaun, and then as soon as she gets rid of Deshaun, pull in Danny to then get rid of Ricard or Xander. That's what
Yep.
Liana needs to do.
But she can't be sitting in the final with Erica because Erica is going to out
Yeah.
talk her, and Erica's going to get the votes.
But if she can get rid of Deshaun, Xander, and Ricard, she can start winning individual. Like Liana could win.
Mm-hmm.
She's out of Erica and Heather. She washes them.
I
To
agree.
me. Up next is Erica. What can Erica do to improve her game?
I don't see any game where Erica wins. So, I mean, Heather. Are we talking about Heather or Erica?
We're talking about Erica. Heather is last, bitch.
Why you said that? I heard Heather. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't see any game where Heather wins. Erica. I think Erica needs to get rid of. I think Erica is in a great spot, but I do think
I
she needs to
agree.
go ahead and work with the 4 non-blacks, get out Deshaun. Then she needs to get rid of Ricard, get rid of Danny, get rid of Xander. If she can sit, if Erica can be in an all women's final, Erica wins.
She wins.
If it's all 3 of those women in the final, Erica
She
wins.
wins. I think the worst, like I agree with you. Erica to me is probably the only person who doesn't need to do anything for her game. I think Erica is playing a great game, and even though the jury may not see it right now, I think if she gets to the end, she can explain what she has been doing, and they will agree because it'll be a fact. But I think the worst thing Liana can do is next week join back up with Deshaun and Danny and vote out Erica. Because if Liana does that, she might as well throw her game away. Because then one of the 4 guys are going to win. And last and definitely least is Heather.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe to Kiss My Cheese TV. Give this video a thumbs up. We really appreciate y'all for joining.
Subscribe, get in the comments.
Miss Angie's about to go live right again.
I am about to go live. I am 20 minutes late for All Stars 2. But it's okay. It's Friday. We not
Right.
doing too much of nothing. If you ain't already in the streets, you ain't going. So we having a good time. I agree. Let's just end the video because it's even if Heather was to come up with some huge strategic plan, it would be too little, too late, and no one would probably give her credit for it.
Yeah, nobody would believe that Heather did it.
Right. So
She could literally get rid of all the guys. Her plan, and nobody would believe it.
no, they would. They would give all the credit to Erica.
Yep.
So that's it, everybody. If you all are waiting for me to do the challenge All Stars 2, it'll be up. Give me about 5 minutes. The Stella Rose, it be going through you, so I gotta take me a restroom break in between videos.
Tinkle.
But did you watch All Stars 2, Charles? Have you been watching?
I watched the last part that I watched was the elimination of Derek. Derek and
Derek C.
girl.
So you didn't watch last night's episode?
Oh no, I haven't been.
Okay.
Girl, I'm out of town. I literally just watched Survivor today, so I haven't been watching no TV like that. So
I understand you with family. I understand. Well, let's wrap it up. And I'm about to get over and do All Stars. Like I said, in about 2 or 3 minutes, I'll be right back. Everyone, I want to thank you for rocking with me and Charles all season. We've been having a good time with Survivor, and it's sad we only have 3 weeks left, but I feel like these last 3 weeks are going to be good. Please support my friend Charles. He is on Instagram, Charles Warren Online.
the Charles
Please check
Warren
out
Instagram.
the Charles Warren. His YouTube is Charles Warren Online. Please check out his products, charleswarrenpresents.com. They are great products. I use them and they are amazing. When I tell you about the body wash, and I forgot you emailed me the link to do a review. I'm going to do it. I forgot.
Go back
The
to your
body
email
wash is
and put your
amazing.
review in.
Y'all remember last week, my back, I couldn't do nothing. I had a big old pillow on this chair. I couldn't do nothing because I had pulled a muscle in my back. When I tell you this is no exaggeration, I use Charles body wash in the shower. The rest of that night, my back was feeling good. I was hopping out in the streets, shopping, doing everything I was supposed to do. The next day, I had a little bit of a tinge of a pain in my back. I took another shower with that body wash. It was gone. So when I tell you, if you ever have a sore muscle and you don't want, because he has the bath soaks too, and that's great, but I'm just a shower person, that body wash is amazing. When it came out, I ordered 3 because I had to stock up because it sells out fast. So please check out his products on charleswarrenpresents.com, and I will remember to do the review. If I forget, just text me because I probably will forget again. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in a few minutes for All Stars 2, and have a good night. We'll be back next week on Thursday. Next week will be Thursday again.
Yep.
All right, Charles. Anything else you want to say real quick?
That's it. Just make sure y'all subscribe and stay tuned to watch her.
Okay. We'll see you in a minute. Bye.